Morning. I need to fill the planters with seed, and then with any luck, this will be like the last full day of planting. And then I'm kind of done. And when I mean kind of done, I'll explain that to you in a minute. Okay. Like when I say I'm kind of done, means I'm kind of done. There will be 10 acres left for me to plant. And the reason that is a friend of ours has his grandson coming in from New York City. He wants his grandson to experience like the full farming effect. So there's 10 acres that I left on property that we own down in Oakland County. And basically it's like 8 acres and a 2-acre strip. So with tomorrow, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put him in the big tractor. He's gonna hit the field with the field cultivator with me, and then from there we're gonna put him in the planter, and then he's gonna experience actually planting that last 10 acres. So, and I'm not gonna film him in the tractor or film tomorrow just out of privacy rights for him. But that's what we're doing. I have about 100 acres to plant today, and then I'm kind of basically probably call it an early day until tomorrow. I could get everything done today and be done planting today, complete in and done, but because of what we're doing tomorrow, we're going to hold off on the 10 acres and do that tomorrow with his grandson. So now I'm dragging my feet a little this morning because one, it's like almost 7 o'clock in the morning. It's still a little early to be firing up the tractors as far as neighbors are concerned. I like to fire the tractors up at 8, but I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of times it's like 7:30. So I'm gonna wait, and because it's not like I'm just gonna fire the tractors up and leave. That's when I fire them up at 7:30, I basically just kind of putt out of here until I get out on the main roads, and then I go. But I'm gonna be making quite a bit of racket in the barnyard here, filling up the planters for the day. So I'm gonna wait till about 8 before I do that. At any rate, I think I'm walking back here behind the barn where we planted a little 4-acre chunk of beans to see if they're popping out of the ground yet. They're just starting to poke their little heads through. So that's a good thing. This ground is hard ground, so like right now it is really firm. Once it gets wet, it dries up like concrete, so it takes it a while for these beans to poke through the ground, and you can see what they do there. Like that little guy's busting through, and he's actually pushing the dirt, breaking the dirt and pushing through. So, and then where it's a little softer ground, we have beans coming up all over the place. That's the difference between lighter soil and heavier soils. In the lighter soils, I can actually see bean rows starting to emerge. Miracle of life. That's what a lot of farmers call uneven emergence. And there's a lot that can go into why you're getting uneven emergence, but this particular reason is because of harder soils here, lighter soils in the middle. We got a heavy rain, just basically turned it like concrete. That's one reason. Another reason is planting depth. Again, lighter soils, your planter will tend, if you've got downforce like we do, lighter soils, it tends to plant a little deeper than it does on the heavier soils, that it stays on top of the ground. So it'll take longer for the deeper seeds to push through. Look at me. I just turned this into an education program. Alright, I got stuff to do, and I'm going to wait for an hour or so before I fire the tractors up. It is now 9 o'clock. I'm full of fuel, full of seed, air tanks are full, my belly's half full. I think we're good to go now. I had to put the old Ray-Bans on. You gotta look cool while you're driving this stuff, right? At least semi-cool. I ended up adjusting the depth of the seed, pushing them down just a little bit deeper. We're going through a little bit of a dry spell right now, and there's no rain in the forecast for the next 10 days. So because we've disturbed the top 2 inches of soil, and that is dried out, I don't want the seeds to lay there and just like basically die until the next rain. So if you can push the seed down just a little bit deeper, has a better chance of getting some of that moisture and germinating. And once it germinates and starts to grow, once the leaves pop out of the ground, then it can absorb the dew and things like that for moisture. So I'm trying it. I've never done it before, but I'm trying it on this field, and we'll see how it works. I'm having an issue. The issue I'm having is some of my gauge wheels are getting plugged up. What's happening is there's enough corn stalk debris here that it's plugging up my gauge wheels, and I gotta come out every so often and clean them. That'll get me through this field. I only have 5 passes left in this corn stalk, and then I'm out of it. It's garbage. They do make what they call row cleaners. On the front of the planter, it's like 2 wheels on a V that spin, and they've got like spikes on them. What they do is they go along and they'll take like this corn stalk that's still on top of the ground, and they push it out of the way and clean that row to where it's just dirt. I'm seriously considering checking into the price of row cleaners now, but I have some questions about it. You know, that windrowing the corn stalks, is that going to create an issue when I harvest the beans in fall with plugging up the head? I don't know. So I have some questions before I get on the bandwagon for that one. Okay, I'm done planting into corn stubble. Now I'm going to jump across this fence row, plant this little field, and go plant another farm. And those were all beans last year, so there should be no issues of plugging up gauge wheels in those fields. It's going to be smooth sailing from here on out. I ran into a problem. I come to the end of my row, picked the planters up, and I couldn't turn the tractor. Steering solid. Wouldn't turn. I'm like, what's going on here? shut the planters off, shut all the hydraulics off to the planters, and all of a sudden I could turn the wheel. It's like, I got out, checked the hydraulic level, she's low. So now I'm either waiting for a ride or this person's going to bring me some hydraulic oil. We'll see which one happens. Putting hydraulic fluid in the tractor did not help my situation. And I'm kind of stumped because I don't know what it is. If I'm running the hydraulic outlets on the planter, I've got no steering. If I can turn it, I have to Armstrong it. So if I come to the end of my row, I end up just shutting all the hydraulics down, shutting the planter completely down, and then I got power steering. But the minute I turn on a hydraulic outlet, I lose power steering. So I have absolutely no clue what it is. I've been like muscling it around the headlands in this field and around the one telephone pole I gotta do. But then after that, I shut the planter off, make my turn, line back up with auto steer, and then I stop, turn the planters back on, let them run a second, and then take off and start planting. It's not an ideal situation, but I'm this close to being done planting for the year. So I'm just dealing with it right now. As soon as I get done with this, then we can figure it out. I think tomorrow I'm going to bring out some new hydraulic filters and change those, thinking maybe there's a hydraulic filter plugged and I'm just losing flow restriction. I don't know. I have no clue. I could have a power steering pump going bad. Could have the hydraulic pump going bad. I have absolutely no clue. I just got off the phone with John Deere. I asked our service guy, I'm like, I told him, I'm like, this is what's going on with the tractor. He took not even 2 seconds, and he goes, you blew the O-rings out of your priority valve. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I don't even know where the priority valve is. And he started laughing. He goes, no, you need a service call. I'm like, okay. Is that something you can do in the field, or do I gotta have it back at the shop? He goes, nope, we can come right to your field. I'm like, all right, how soon can you do it? He goes, we can be there first thing in the morning. I'm like, rock on. I'll see you in the morning. I just did the math. I don't have enough seed to do this 12 acres. So I called my seed dealer, and he's gonna run me up 10 bags, like 50-pound bags of seed tonight, and just drop them off in the barn so I have them for tomorrow. So that is a plus. That is awesome. I greatly appreciate that. But that way I can keep moving. Alright guys, I'm going to end the video here while I'm waiting for my Uber to arrive. It's been an eventful day, I will say that. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.